Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you. I love that when you say hello and someone says hello right back. Welcome to Celebrating Champions of Youth, the 5th annual. We are so glad you're here and enjoying your food. And we have a lot to do tonight, so we're going to get right to it. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the Coalition for welcoming me back again this year. Thank you. My name is Becky Lynn, and I am the afternoon news anchor with 92.3 FM KTAR Radio with the Gatos and Chad Show. I know some of you listen. I've already talked to some of you, and I appreciate that. I also bring you Arizona's evening news at 6 o'clock every weeknight. So normally I would be right there at this very moment. But today I worked a little bit earlier and got off in the afternoon so I could come and be here again tonight for the Celebrating Champions of Youth Award. I was invited to come a couple of years ago, and of course last year was a year like no other. So I'm really, really happy to see everybody here in the room tonight. It's great to be back for sure. So as you can see right here, there's a lot about the Tempe Coalition. And you have your programs tonight, so you know exactly what they're all about. But just very quickly, I want to reiterate the very important purpose of the Tempe Coalition. Founded in 1987 as a project of the Tempe Community Council, the Tempe Coalition is designed to collectively improve the city of Tempe by advocating for the reduction of alcohol and drug use among kids who attend Tempe schools. It's a big problem, and we are so glad that the Coalition is here and working so hard to make all of this happen and help our kids, our students, our young people achieve their dreams and just go on to achieve great things in life. We're going to get these awards going in just a moment, but first I'd like to introduce you to the Coalition Chair, Brenda Young.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for coming out. Very much appreciate it. There's just a few things I really want to be able to share with you all, and that is first and foremost that we are a community. And so it takes all of us in this room and many others who weren't able to be here tonight to be able to really make sure that our youth have everything that they need in order to be successful. And when we think about that and we think about what each one of us are doing every single day and every minute of every day, I think that that's something that we need to just take a moment and ponder and think about. How do we every single day impact those lives? How do we help build those people and those young individuals up so that they are feeling that inspiration of hope? That tomorrow is a great day. And that's such an important feeling for our youth to be able to have, is to have that hope that tomorrow is going to be a great day. It doesn't mean that today wasn't. It just means that tomorrow will continue to be a great day. And so as we think through, there's a couple things I just really want to be able to share with you all and recognize a few special people that have really helped drive what we do here at the Tempe Coalition. And so with that, I would just like to ask, if you're a member of the Tempe Community Council and you're here with us tonight, if you could please stand. So I know we have some in the back. Stand, be proud, be proud. All right. And so when we think about what the Tempe Community Council does for us as a coalition, is they're our backbone, right? And so we are a project of theirs and we're grant funded, but they really truly are our backbone. They are what gives us the structure we need in order for all of us community volunteers to band together and do the great work that we're doing here in our community. So thank you very much for that support. I'd also like to thank Bernadette Coggins. Stand up, please, Bernadette. There we are. Thank you. Bernadette is our Tempe Coalition Director, and while the Tempe Community Council is our backbone, she is our brain, she's our heart, she is our central nervous system that truly keeps us going, chugging in the right direction, making sure that we're getting all of our deliverables met, but most importantly, that we're meeting our youth where they are and that we are helping to inspire them for their future. I'd also like to recognize a few others that are in the audience. So if you are a member of the coalition, please stand. Come on, be proud. Be proud. And so it takes all of these individuals, right? All of these individuals, plus you here, to be able to truly meet the needs of our youth. And so what we want to be able to tell you is this: we're volunteers. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart that I appreciate all the dedication that you all bring to this coalition. Your incredible thought, drive, and just inspiration that you leave us with. The way that we can continue to think outside the box. We've had to do that a lot over the last 18 months. And so with that, I just want to say thank you. You are truly appreciated. And there's a few very special people: Sharon Doyle, Victoria Lopez, Gina Thorpe, and Tina Ireland. Without those individuals, I wouldn't be able to stand here today. All right? They truly help me as the chair continue to drive many things that our coalition wants to see happen in our community. And so we just want to thank everyone for all of their hard work and dedication. And so, as you know, as being volunteers, we are servant leaders here within Tempe. So as we are thinking through what is it we really need as we move forward in our future direction. So what do you think it is we need? We need you. So I would highly encourage you all, come and check us out, join the coalition, sign up, be a part, because we really are truly driving, making a difference. And if you don't believe me right now, you will by the end of this night, when you start to hear and see some of the really great individuals and youth that we have that are truly inspirational. So with that, I'm going to now turn it over to Sharon Doyle, who's going to give us a little bit about the history of the Tempe Coalition.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to be pretty brief. You already heard that in 1987, the coalition basically started. But it wasn't a coalition at that point. What it was a committee for youth, families, and community that was under the city of Tempe. The city of Tempe has always had youth at its heart, wanting to support them and wanting to make sure that they're successful. But when they started to think that they needed some funding and some grants, they were trying to find an organization that might be able to assist them with that. And the Tempe Community Council is who they went to oversee then what was going to become the coalition that we know today. So the Tempe Community Council is our fiscal agent. They are responsible for overseeing the funding that we receive from both state grants and national grants. And then they give us in-kind support with housing and with some printing and things like that. But the Regional Behavioral Health Authority was what started the coalition. They gave the city of Tempe and that community support group of youth and families and community money to start a coalition, because it's hard. It's hard to get a coalition started. A coalition is a grassroots organization that comes up from the needs of the community, and you need to have a lot of different people involved with it. So TCC accepted the challenge, and the coalition first did, the official name was Tempe Coalition to Reduce Underage Drinking and Drug Use. And that's pretty much what our mission is today, to keep kids from starting that. So let's see, what else? We are staffed by the city, but we're paid for through grants. We won a national award, a public policy award for 21 or too young. Anybody remember that phrase, 21 or too young? It was back in the 90s, and it was about alcohol. And we did a huge campaign all over the city of Tempe, into Chandler, 21 too young. You can't drink. It's illegal. And we won a national award for that. We also won some drug-free communities awards for our campaigns that we've done there. And we continue to get support from the city for the support that we can give to the youth. I will tell you that one reason you don't see some of our Tempe High School and Tempe Elementary School people here, or our city council members who are all very supportive of the coalition, is there's 2 board meetings and there's a city council meeting. So we didn't pick the right night, so we'll do better next year. I do want to acknowledge a couple of people that we have here that are dignitaries. Senator Sean Bowie, who represents Legislative District 18. Sean just... Kyrene School Board is not meeting, so we have Margaret Pratt from the Kyrene School Board. The Honorable Michelle Hirsch is a former Kyrene board member. We have the superintendent of the Kyrene schools, Laura Tenos. Assistant Fire Chief, Andrea Glass. And we're glad to have them here to help celebrate our Champions for Youth. And I'm going to turn it back over to Becky Lynn from KTAR.
All right, we are down to what you're all here for. We are very excited tonight to hand out some great awards for Champions of Youth. We have 3 adult awards tonight. They're there in your program: the Advocate Award, the Inspiration, and the Protector. And soon you're going to learn how and why the recipients of these awards have come to be chosen for these honors. Also, we are doing 6 youth awards tonight, Youth Champion Awards. Very excited. This recognizes youth who have continually set and achieved their goals and have inspired their peers to do so as well, or have overcome adversity and challenges, demonstrating resilience, determination, and leadership. And they have some great stories. We're excited to bring them to you. So let's waste no time and get started. With our very first award, I'd like to welcome Superintendent of Kyrene School District, Laura Tonias.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Laura Tenias, proud superintendent of Kyrene School District, and it is my honor this evening to present the Tempe Coalition Advocate Award to the Kyrene Schools Community Foundation, sitting over here. The mission of the Kyrene Schools Foundation is to serve and provide resources for children and their families in the Kyrene community. This great organization was first established 25 years ago by 2 longtime Kyrene secretaries who distributed shoes and clothes to families in need from their trunk in the car. From inception to now, the Kyrene Foundation has always been a tremendous resource and advocate for the youth in our community. The Foundation's key initiatives include outreach services, prevention campaigns, medical, dental, food, clothing, and family crisis assistance, student scholarships for extracurricular and enrichment programs such as sports, arts, and academic support. The Kyrene Foundation is also the primary supporter of our Kyrene Family Resource Center. All 15 volunteer foundation board members are committed to serving the young people of Tempe by promoting health and wellness resources for our youth through those key initiatives. And for that reason and many more, the Kyrene Schools Community Foundation is truly deserving of this award. And I have to tell you, it has been my honor to be in partnership with them. They have just been truly, truly amazing. So here to accept on the Foundation's behalf is Shirley Coomer, the Foundation Board President, and Debbie Hoover, a board member. Who's going to get? Which one? Here it is. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Thank you. I'll let you speak for a minute.
Thank you so much. The foundation is so excited to receive this award, and what we do could not be accomplished without the efforts and the collaborative partnership with the Kyrene School District and with Laura Tenius and her staff. We talk with them frequently. We partner on stuff. We look at ways to help the students in the community, their families. Upcoming this month, we've got our Thanksgiving meal program for them and Winter Wonderlands where all families can celebrate the holidays together. But again, it wouldn't be possible without the district being very cooperative and supportive, and we couldn't be prouder to be here tonight. Thank you very much.
And now I would like to introduce Geronda Montano, a Tempe Coalition member, to present the next award.
Good evening, everyone. It is always my pleasure to make an announcement of an award recipient for something that's near and dear to my heart. The next award recipient will be receiving the Inspiration Award, and Stephanie and I are co-presenting this because we're going to come from a different angle. You can read the specific words in the program for this next recipient. It is Coach Dave Webb. And we're going to talk a little bit about Coach Webb from our individual perspectives. I'm also a coach, and it's a big undertaking to take the lives of a young person and mold them into the greatness that they could potentially become as an athlete. It's a very big undertaking. Coach Webb has done that for a very long time. He has been the coach of Pan Am teams. He's coached youth from the young age all the way through high school. He's moving into his 12th season as the head baseball coach at Corona del Sol. He has a state championship team on his roster that he has coached. He has amazing players under him. And the thing that has stood out the most to me about Corona del Sol baseball is that Coach Webb has welcomed in more than just baseball to his program. The mission of that program goes something like this: teaching young men to be amazing human beings. That's well beyond athletics. And I always say sports imitates life. And so it is my honor to speak on this behalf to say that Coach Webb is very deserving of this Inspiration Award. And I'm going to let Stephanie give her take on Coach Webb, an amazing coach and man.
Thank you. And on the program, I wasn't supposed to be here, so I'm Stephanie Siete. I'm the Public Information Officer with Community Bridges, proud member of the Tempe Coalition for the last decade, worked with your community for many, many years, and I'm glad that I could be here so I could have a few seconds to honor Dave Webb. I know I saw you kind of smirk, like under that mask smirk. They're going to say something personal. What are they going to say? All good things. I'm going to share a quick personal story that phenomenal coach. If you really knew me, I love sports. So I respect and love what you do for the youth, for sports. But Community Bridges, where I work, is behavioral health, right? Saving lives, period, youth and adults. So to have a mentor and a leader for youth is so important. We all know that, right? Beyond parents, they need positive adult role models. And Dave serves that role very, very well. I can tell you, I can't believe it's been almost 10 years. When we were reminiscing recently, Geronda and I actually had the opportunity just a few weeks ago to come out to the school at Corona del Sol and do a presentation for baseball players and their families. From what I understand, it was pretty well received. But the message we thought was just so important. It was about giving them all kinds of information about not just being a good human, but just drug information so that you can make educated life decisions. He allows that opportunity. The personal story is a little sad in that 10 years ago almost, in 2013, I was able to go out to the school and talk to the high school kids at that time. And I brought a guest speaker. My guest speaker was only a 16, 17-year-old kid whose boyfriend had died of a heroin overdose. And we really thought she might be more relatable. And it was a very sad relatable, and you heard what I said, that was almost 10 years ago. This problem has continued to get worse, sadly. During the pandemic, the mental health, the substance abuse numbers have all increased dramatically. I honor, praise, celebrate the fact that you will always welcome education outside the classroom to bring us in to help your students make better life decisions. And I hope you guys, I look at the students, recognize how important he is and all of us as adult role models and what the Tempe Coalition serves. We're here to serve you, to help you. So again, I'm just glad that I could be here. We'd love to welcome you to the front of the room here to give you an award that is so well deserved as the Inspiration Award to Dave Webb.
I always wondered what it was like to win like an Academy Award. This is an Academy Award moment for me. Well, I guess I'll start off by saying what I've seen on TV at Emmys and Grammys and such. I want to thank the people who got me up here. The Tempe Coalition, the friends and people that I know that nominated me, and most of all, the reason I'm here is for the guys that are sitting out here. I was kind of surprised that they showed up today. I had no clue they were showing up, and then they showed up in droves. It couldn't mean more to me that they're here. And this award couldn't mean more to me because I've been fighting my whole entire career to let everybody know that I'm a rebel. I'm a rebel, and they're rebels. Because anymore, things are, in our society, they're just accepted. And we move on from that, and we let more and more go. And not to say that I'm this hardcore disciplinarian, but I just hold them to higher standards. We talk about character all the time. We talk about expectations. Standards are always a part of our conversations. We put words on the back of our shirts like uncommon, because that's what we want to be known as for Corona del Sol in the baseball program. And we're a rebel because not a lot of people do that anymore. People are accepting of drugs and alcohol, and they don't set the standard. They don't talk to kids about it. They don't have like Stephanie and Geronda in to talk about those institutions, give them facts about what's really going on. And I'm going to bother to do that because my end goal is to make every single one of these guys you see sitting over here the greatest men possible. And it's not gauged in state championships. It's not gauged in anything else. It's gauged in human beings. I happen to coach on the boys' side, growing into men. And I've never changed from that. Sometimes I've needed some help from other people's to kind of figure it out along the way. But that has been my goal all along. And I hope I've done a good job doing that with these guys. And I just want to really thank you again for the award. I really greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Next up to present the Protector Award is former Kyrene Governing Board President Michelle Hirsch.
Thank you, Geronda, and I am so happy to be here with all of you to celebrate these wonderful adult and youth award winners. Many of you know our Arizona Senator, Sean Bowie, because he exemplifies frontline engagement in our community. Sean grew up here, attending Kyrene and Tempe Union High Schools and ASU, where he currently works as professor of practice in the School of Public Affairs, teaching undergraduate courses on leadership, ethics, public policy, and the state legislature. Sean was first elected to the Arizona Senate in 2016 and re-elected in 2018 and 2020 to represent Legislative District 18. That's our South Tempe communities, Southwest Mesa, the Ahwatukee foothills areas of Phoenix, and West Chandler. And even though Senator Bowie recently announced he would not be seeking re-election next term, we can all make a sad face, we can all appreciate his many years of working collaboratively in the legislature and with business and education leaders, community members, and numerous initiatives and legislation to restore education funding, improve schools, increase protections for our LGBTQ youth, and increase awareness and support of policies, programs, and resources that protect Tempe youth and help them reach their full potential and have safer environments. Sean took the lead in writing and passing 3 important Arizona laws that increase mental health supports for youth and require suicide prevention training for all school personnel who work with students in grades 6 through 12. Now, Sean's efforts don't stop at the schools and the classroom. His leadership and skills in working across the aisle have introduced multiple bipartisan bills over the years to expand non-discrimination protections for employment, housing, and public accommodation, all of which help protect youth and families. Yes, we're proud of our homegrown role model with a record of excellence in service to help youth be more supported and successful, and thereby championing the next generation who will lead and make positive impacts in our communities too. Please join me in honoring and congratulating Sean Bowie as the very deserving 2021 Champions for Youth Protector Award recipient.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Bernadette, and everyone at the Tempe Coalition. I'll be brief, I promise. Those politicians, they can talk forever. I'm often asked, we deal with a lot of issues in the legislature, obviously, and I'm often asked, of all the things you could focus on, why focus on this? Why focus on mental health support for our young people? And what I usually say is that it's because it's what my community needs and it's what my community wants. And going out and visiting the schools and spending time in our community over the years, especially in the last year and a half, I think it's very clear that the need for additional support for resources for our young people is more important than ever. So I want to dedicate this award to a couple moms that I've worked with over the years, who I met several years ago and helped educate me on why this issue is so important and what we can do to help. And because of them, we have several laws in place that are really making a difference in the lives of young people and I think have saved lives. So 2 of those 4 are here today, Lori Warnock, Kyrene Blanchard, Eduarda Schroeder, and Suzanne Whitaker, who came to me and educated me about why this was important. And then I used my role to do what I can at the legislature to help. So I have 1 more session to go. This next year, I'm going to continue doing everything I can to support our schools, our teachers, and our young people as we get through this pandemic. So thank you very much for the award. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Next, let's welcome up Kim Wittmeyer, the mentor coordinator with the Tempe Union High School District, to present the first Youth Champion Award.
Good evening. I'm really grateful to be here, and thank you, Bernadette, Sharon, and all of the coalition. So often as a high school teacher, well, first I'm going to back up. For those of you that don't know what TAP stands for, TAP stands for Teenage Pregnancy and Parenting Program. So we have been really lucky in Tempe for over 45 years to have this program, even though it is a program that many have never heard of. I am the mentor coordinator, so many of you, if you have any interest in mentoring, my boss here will be very pleased with my little plug for mentoring. But we're always in need of mentors, and I couldn't pick better people than in this room. As a teacher for the first 18 years of my career, so often we're at assemblies and we're at awards, and it's all about academics, and academics are great. However, I kind of left the classroom and got into this where I've gotten to meet, and I'm a crier, be warned. My kids are already laughing at me because they're like, wow, you made it a lot longer than we thought you would. I've met some incredible humans doing what I do. They have made a really difficult choice to choose to parent and stay in school and beat the odds of what teen pregnancy can be. It is difficult. They work harder than most people I've ever met. And I have some incredible kids at home. But when I see what these guys do every day, I'm so proud. I recognize some people in the room too who I know were also teen parents who have supported our program in different ways, and I am so grateful for all of that as well. I won't go on and on because I know people get scared when they give me a microphone and a stage. I could be up here a long time. But I wanted to make sure that you understand that the two kids you're going to meet do what they do with such grace and humility, and every day they stay out of the drama, and there's a lot of drama in high schools. They stay above the fray. They do what they need to do, and they just put one foot in front of the other, and no matter what others may think or do or say, they stay focused, and they are there for the right reason and just doing an incredible job to do what they do. So without further ado, I don't know who I have first. I have Sean Bowie first. Good job, Sean. I'm going to start with Ernesto. And I want to say, first, if the kids leave after they have been announced, please understand they have little ones, and we've been talking about routines and getting children to bed and the things you need to do. So when you're hearing little people chirping a little bit and having some fun here tonight, it's because they came to also recognize and thank their moms and dads for staying in school. So Ernesto is one of the most committed dads I have ever had the privilege to work with. He came back to school and wanted to graduate to be a role model. And so often, when I first started 10 years ago with TAP, we didn't have a lot that we could do for the dads. And we'd sit on the TAP board meetings, and there was always a gentleman on our board that would say, "What are you doing for the dads? But what are you doing for the dads?" And we didn't have an opportunity to do a lot. And I'm the mom of two boys, and so I came in saying, well, it's really easy as society to ridicule dads or to say, well, they're not involved or they don't do this or, all the things that you can hear. Yet, as a teen trying to parent, if you're not given the support, how do you know better to do better? And so I'm really proud of the program for changing and shifting a little bit and starting to service the dads in a little bit more of a capacity than we have in the past. One of the things we do is we do support group. Probably 1,000 times since Ernesto's been part of our program, I'll say, so I was going to talk about this at support group today. Are you good if I use you as an example for XYZ? And he's always like, yep, that's fine. And he is the quietest, most unassuming, wonderful human you'll meet. But if you get 4 words out of him, that's a day. That's something. So, and his sister with him tonight, I'm sure she's like, oh yeah, you have no idea. But we have watched him, and I have one of our infant workers here tonight as well. And we watched him from day one, carrying the infant car seat in, signing her in, doing all the things, rushing down at lunchtime to get her out of childcare, being in the classroom or in one of our offices just to hang out with his daughter during lunch, gets her back in, finishes the day, and all the things. We had always been at Compadre. So the two that I brought tonight that have won this award grew up at Compadre here. So when we closed the doors, that was a really difficult thing. You're asking to shift back away from and go back to a big campus. And these guys did it with grace and perseverance, and they're like, yeah, nothing's going to stop us. So wherever you take us, we're going. So we are now at Marcos de Niza, where Ernesto will get up in the morning, his dad brings him here, drops his daughter, who is here at Early Head Start. He then gets on a bus, takes a bus down to Marcos de Niza, does his day at Marcos, gets out about 5 minutes early. You see him running across campus to get on the bus, to come back here, to check his daughter out. And then when I drive home sometimes, I see Ernesto hanging out with Jimena because they're waiting for their ride home from Dad after he gets off work. So they'll be playing or doing whatever. And it's just great to see. It always makes me smile. Sometimes I honk. You've never, ever looked at me and waved, but that's okay. Now you will. You'll know that was me. And so in the beginning of the year, the adjustment was difficult for us of leaving our babies and youth here and being over at Marcos. So we kind of would arm wrestle and say who gets to start their day at Compadre. And one of the days I was lucky enough that I said, I'm going to start my day at Compadre so I can see him drop off at Early Head Start and then just kind of see the routine. And Jimena's hair was braided and it was all pretty. And I was just like, wow. And he's he's kind of a single dad parenting and gets her up. And I said, who does her hair? And he said, well, I do. And I'm like, oh, it looks beautiful. And he looks at me, doesn't miss a beat. And he goes, well, she's always beautiful. And I go, oh, yeah, thanks for making me feel this big. I go, well, I know. I mean, I'm just saying, like, her hair, like, how did you learn to do that? And he looks at me again, like, you're an idiot. And he goes, YouTube. And I'm like, of course. So he has spent hours watching YouTube videos to make sure that when she shows up at Early Head Start, she is always dressed to the nines and her hair is beautiful. And it's the end of the day, so no pressure. She's probably already pulled her braids out and done whatever. The end of the day in toddlers. So without further ado, I just am so proud of you and thank you for teaching us so much in TAP that we are all proud of you. Ernesto, do you and Jimena want to come on up?
I didn't tell them they were going to speak.
That's fine. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to Ms. Wittmeyer, obviously, and all the teachers in the TAP program for, helping me when she was born or now when she's in childcare and stuff like that. It really helped me out and everything. So I just want to say thank you to Ms. Wittmeyer, Ms. Carmody, and all the people in childcare. So, yeah.
Be careful getting down. And, oh, he probably didn't want that. I'm kidding. Ernesto, I left off the trophy part. And then we have Priscilla, and she also is part of the TAP program. And Priscilla had she decided she's going to come back to school. She can do it. She is going to graduate. And COVID hit. So the inspiration for me with Priscilla was watching her set an example for so many of our other teens. They were terrified, as most of us were, terrified of COVID. They have babies. How are we possibly going to take them to childcare? What can we do? And Priscilla was just determined that she came. She visited without her little one. She saw how childcare was treating COVID, how Compadre was treating COVID. Everyone was masked up. The protocol, she went through everything with childcare and said, I need to graduate. And being online with a little one at home is not working. And so, lucky for us, we have Ms. Carmody as our advocate, who's the director of our program, and she advocated for our kids to be able to be on campus and for our program to be able to open to have our babies on campus. And Priscilla was one of the first to come and to bring her baby, and then other kids started noticing, and so we started to get some momentum. And I think last year's graduates should have nominated you for this award because they would not have made it through without coming back on campus, having childcare, and getting through COVID. And Priscilla was the one who set that stage of, we can do this, and we can be masked up, and we can still parent, but we have to be in school. We can't be home with toddlers and kids running around and trying to go to high school for 7 hours on a computer. So I have many more things, but my last thing for Priscilla that is our favorite is Jesse was bound and determined to graduate, and to graduate from our program, you have to be 1 and walking. He turned 1, the walking part, he didn't quite have down. So now at Marcos, the custodial crew, the security crew, and Miss Kyrene, everybody had Jesse out walking, and he'd go on these walkabouts. And so everybody's like, where's Jesse? And we're like, well, no, he's actually going to now go to Early Head Start because we got him to walk. So just like Jesse, Priscilla will also be walking this year across the stage with her diploma, and so we're really proud of him. So Priscilla Valencia, would you come up?
though, I want to say thank you to the coalition. Thank you to the TAP program. Thank you to Wittmeyer for this opportunity tonight. I want to thank my family for supporting me always. I never think that I'd be here, so thank you very much.
And next up, we have Renee Corey.
Good evening. I'm Renee Corey, the proud principal of Kyrene and Prende Middle School in the Kyrene School District. I'm very honored to be here this evening to celebrate our youth and community leaders. Jasmine, or as she is affectionately called, Jazzy, is an 8th grade student at Prende who has been a part of our school community since kindergarten. Jasmine has been through a lot in her life, and instead of giving up or losing hope, she chose to use the lessons she learned and the heartaches she's experienced in order to propel herself towards success in the classroom and in life. Jasmine demonstrates a tenacity and mental toughness combined with hope and positivity that we've not seen in many students. Jasmine's perseverance, hard work, compassion, and advocacy have served as a model for other students at Prende and in Kyrene. She works endlessly to achieve high grades, to promote inclusivity and acceptance in others, which is difficult in middle school, to advocate for smart and healthy teen behaviors, and to give back to her community. Jasmine walks through the hallways happily greeting her peers and teachers. She is a friend and a positive peer role model. She's respectful and helpful to her teachers, definitely indicated here by the large crowded number of teachers table here that have come to support and celebrate Jasmine. And Jasmine pushes herself to get all A's and B's, which requires a lot of extra time, especially after the last year and a half. Jasmine is an inspiration. She has done more than survive. Jasmine has thrived. And we are so proud of her and admire her strength, perseverance, and never-ending smile, which we hope we see under that mask there, Jazzy. She, without a doubt, deserves this recognition. We love you, Jazzy. Come on up here.
So I would love to thank my family, of course, for always being there for me since I was little, ever since how my mom passed away when I was 4 years old. I'd love to thank my teachers for always being there for me, always helping me through my toughest times if I needed help with schoolwork or if I just needed time out of class. I'd love to thank my friends as well for always being there for me if I needed someone to talk to. Also, always being there for me if I ever needed someone to hang out with or someone I just want to be with. So I am actually very thankful for this award. I've always wanted to help other people, and I've always wanted to be respectful to others. Growing up, I've always wanted to be a counselor to help others. So I am very thankful for this award.
I'd now like to introduce our next presenter, Andrea Glass, Assistant Chief, Tempe Fire Medical Rescue Department.
Thank you all. First, I just want to take a second to congratulate all the award winners here this evening. It is humbling to be in such a room with so many amazing people. So first and foremost, congratulations to all the award winners so far and those that are going to be coming up. Lavelle Lewis Jr. is being recognized for his servant leadership and selflessness, which he exhibits as a role model to his younger siblings, through his volunteer work with his church, and through his positive influence as a young leader with fulfillment in training, otherwise known as FIT, which impacts underprivileged youth in our community. Lavelle is a member of the National Honor Society, achieving a 4.0 grade point average while participating in basketball, playing percussions in the band, and helping his dad with his 4 younger siblings whenever it is needed. That is quite a bit and quite a feat. With such an impressive background, the one thing that stands out most with Lavelle is his selflessness. He does not need to be the loudest one in the room to lead. I found that out this evening already. Lavelle is humble. He's a goal setter, someone who does not seek attention but simply is there for others. And again, I want to take a second because that's not common these days. There's a lot of loud, there's a lot of look at me that we see today. And to be humble and to show leadership by action is incredible. Unfortunately, Stephen Baines, community mentor, leader, and owner of FIT, was unable to be here tonight, so you're stuck with me, and I apologize for that. But he does want you to know a few things, and so I'd like to share those with you. He wants you to know how proud he is of you. He wants you to stay focused. He wants you to continue to achieve your goals, and he wants you to continue to be successful like you have been doing so far. You can achieve absolutely anything you put your mind to with effort and dedication. For myself, what I'd like to share with you. What I see and what I'm hearing is you demonstrate courage. And I'd like to share one of my favorite quotes with you. Courage is not the absence of fear, rather it's the realization that there is something else that's more important than fear. You demonstrate that. And I want you to continue to demonstrate that as you go through your life, because I can already see you're an incredible young man and you have everything it takes to be successful and do whatever it is that you want to do. Lavelle has persevered during challenging times, again showing courage, and is a shining example of how a positive attitude, hard work, and selflessness can result in so many successes. He is a leader in our community, showing us through his actions what a bright future we have in our youth. For these reasons and many more, Lavelle Lewis Jr. is not only deserving of this recognition, but to be quite honest, the epitome of what the Youth Champion Award encompasses. Please join me in congratulating Lavelle and all of his accomplishments.
All right. I wasn't aware that we were going to give a speech, so I'll do my best to make things up as I go. I'm Lavelle Lewis Jr. I'm a student athlete for Corona del Sol. I would like to thank the FIT organization for nominating me so I can be here today. And I would like to thank my family who's here for helping me get this far. And yeah, we only go up from here.
And it is my honor to be able to welcome Councilmember Doreen Garland as our next presenter.
I'd just like to say I am so happy to be here because I absolutely love the Tempe Coalition and all the things that they do for our students. And just to say, I am so impressed every time I hear these stories about the students. I am just so impressed with all of you. So congratulations to everybody. You know, it's easy to sit and listen to a award presentation like this and say that could never be me, as if some people are just born leaders and the rest of us are not. And I'm here to talk about a student who didn't start out as a leader, but made personal choices that changed his life and the lives of others, and took on a journey that got us here tonight. As a freshman and sophomore, Gabrielle Molina was very much like everyone else. Not at all that interested in school, not very motivated to get involved or do much beyond the minimum. And let's face it, I've heard he had a little bit of an attitude. When the pandemic hit, Gabe was gone for a year and a half, having shifted to online school to protect his grandparents. He was at home for his entire junior year, but instead of becoming more disconnected, He took advantage of the opportunity to find ways to start helping others, volunteering his time in local community events. Now back on campus, Gabe shows up every day with a smile and has looked for ways to push himself outside of his comfort zone, like playing quarterback on the football team. He has become a real leader among his peers on and off the field. He also remembers the friends who never made it to their senior year because of the challenges that they were facing in their lives. And now Gabe helps to recruit his fellow students to participate in prevention activities focused on leading a more positive life. Gabe is an extraordinary young man who has been lucky enough to come to realize at a very young age just what kind of an impact he can have on other people around him if he wants to. And I am honored to give him this award today. But let's be clear, Gabe isn't a leader because he was born one or because he was destined to become one. Gabe was an everyday person like you and me who has become a leader because he chooses to be one every single day. If you're sitting here thinking, that could never be me, while we celebrate this journey that Gabrielle Molina has been on, let's also take a minute to celebrate how he shows us the possibility and the potential in each and every one of us to do exactly the same thing. Gabrielle Molina, you are amazing.
I'd like to start off by thanking the Coalition for giving me this award tonight, and Ms. Shelley Arredondo at Tempe High School for nominating me. I'd like to thank my parents for pushing me and motivating me every day throughout all 4 years of high school, throughout my whole life. Sports has really been a big stepping stone in my life. It's kept me out of trouble, kept me out of just doing wrong things in life. I grew up in a town down the street, Guadalupe. So I have friends and I know people that have gone down the wrong path. So when I see people at Tempe High, I want to do my best to help them and push them towards the right path. Make sure that they don't go through any wrongdoings in their life. So thank you for nominating me, and thank you for this award.
And then I'd like to introduce our next speaker. It's principal from the Kyrene Middle School, Scott Maxwell.
Good evening. My name is Scott Maxwell. I'm the proud principal of the Kyrene Middle School. Actually, a quick fun fact about a little Kyrene trivia. Our award recipient that I'm recognizing tonight, Drew Pasmonick, went to elementary school at Murata Elementary School. Also, Senator Bowie went to Murata Elementary School, so they're alumni at Murata. So that's some good Kyrene trivia for you. I'm honored tonight to recognize Drew Pasmonick and say a few words on his behalf, an 8th grader at Kyrene Middle School. Drew truly embodies the attributes KMS strives to instill in its students. He's caring, he's open-minded, he's reflective, he's principled, and he's willing to take risks to achieve greatness, to make a difference in this world. One story that demonstrates this is these attributes quite vividly is his efforts this year to raise money to provide hearing aids to his American Sign Language teacher. Many of you may not be aware of this, but insurance companies do not cover hearing aids for the deaf. So when Drew found this out and found out that his ASL teacher broke her hearing aids, he got to work. He started a GoFundMe page to raise money. He started to raise money, and then he started to spread the word. He soon came to the KMS administration knowing we could help amplify his efforts. So we sent out a message on his behalf, and we sent it out to the greater community. And soon thereafter, the news media got wind of this effort. And soon he was taking his campaign valley-wide. In the end, he raised over $6,000 to support his teacher. And what was so impressive about this was not only did he have the compassion and consideration to identify that need, that very genuine need, but he took action. He took the idea and he put it into action. And that took courage. That took responsibility. That was looking out for the greater community. That is leadership. So that story and his accomplishments over the years, and he's got many accomplishments, which include winning the Kyrene School District Spelling Bee and representing the district in the state Spelling Bee. He took first place in the National History Day state competition in 2017, and he's been a leader in the theater program throughout his middle school years. And those are all, I think, very impressive enough in its accomplishments, but what I think I found most impressive about Drew in my time getting to know him is his adaptability. Like many people here, his schooling over the past few years, his middle school years, have been quite unique, to say the least. He's gone through a global pandemic and all that's entailed. He's had to toggle between learning in person and learning online. His middle school journey has also taken him from Pueblo Middle School to Kyrene Digital Academy and to Kyrene Middle School. So after a couple of years, he's finally seen the light. But I was actually speaking with his former principal, Dr. Ross. This was his principal at Pueblo and at Kyrene Digital Academy. And I was asking Dr. Ross, why is, Drew's been so successful at all these different places. And, he was saying that he has just passion for learning. And he's always doing the right thing. He's always doing the right thing, even when it's difficult. So I would only add to that, he's thrived because of that foundational character I spoke of, and his willingness to adapt to changing circumstances. And I think we all know, if the past few years has taught us anything, is that change is constant, right? And leaders have to be able to learn and adapt to changing circumstances. Drew possesses that flexibility. He possesses that growth mindset. And so for those reasons and much, much more, I couldn't think of a student more deserving of the title of Youth Champion. Congratulations, Drew. It's well earned. Come on up.
Thank you all for coming. This means a lot. I never thought I would be here. I never thought that I would reach this potential. It's mind-blowing. I am so, so grateful for everyone that got me here. My parents always telling me to do more, do better, be higher, and just continue to grow. It felt small at the moment what I had done for my American Sign Language teacher, but now I really realize that it was a great thing, and that anyone can do these great things, and that it's a very important thing in the community to help out people in need. And when you do those things, it really lifts up the whole community, not just yourself, not just the person you're helping, but the whole community is lifted up, and it makes us all better as a whole.
So now we have our closing remarks from Becky Lynn.
So before we wrap up the evening, I've been told by our esteemed director over here, Miss Bernadette Coggins, to let you know, yes, Bernadette, there's plenty of food left. Please go back, eat it up, enjoy. There's some tchotchkes over here you can take home with you as well. We would love for you to do that. So thank you all for coming tonight and being here. I just want to say, I don't think I mentioned this at the beginning of the evening, but I, too, am a Tempe resident. I have lived in the same house in Tempe for 22 years. I love this city. I am the parent of a proud proud Wagner Wildcats, KMS Scorpions, and Marcos Deniza Padres, as well as one ASU Sun Devil graduate, and one almost about to be graduate, just right there. So yes, we are fully vested in this city as well. And these stories that we have heard tonight, I'm amazed. I'm inspired. The adult award winners, the youth, I just can't get over it. You're wonderful. And the fact that especially you youth are leaders, you're showing those who are at your schools the way to do it. And thank you, because we want Tempe to be a vibrant, great, continually growing city. And we have you to thank for that. Also, as I mentioned, I do the news every day. And yesterday I saw a story. It was from ABC, and it was talking about during the pandemic that overdoses have grown unbelievably. It's been the biggest year for overdoses ever, and that's just heartbreaking. And so that's why we need the Tempe Coalition more than ever. I also want to say a big, big thank you to all the volunteers who are on the coalition, who keep fighting every day to keep our schools to be a better place. So I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you for being here. Eat up and drive safe when you go home. Good night. If you have a trophy, there are some boxes up here. If you don't have a box, that is for your trophy. Come